Hello everyone, Jeremy Brown here. A topic that I want to get into for this video is a topic that I've been really diving into and trying to learn more about and explore for the past, I'd say, year, maybe year and a half or so. And it stemmed from, so taking a step back, in 2007, Startups Give Back launched Changemaker Forum, which is essentially a forum for social entrepreneurs to share the problems that they believe are worth solving in the world, and also how their organizations are solving those problems. And every time I had a conversation with a nonprofit founder, the topic of the lack of sustainable funding always came up in some variation. And it's true. Being a nonprofit is really, really difficult. What's more difficult is you wanting to solve really big problems, but not having the capital to invest back into your programs, your initiatives, or really just growing the organization and finding some really, really key talent that can get you to the next level. And so nonprofit founders are finding themselves searching for grants every single day. They're spending the majority of their time on grants, fundraising. And it's not a sustainable thing. It's not efficient. They're spending most of their time doing tasks that, frankly, they shouldn't have to be doing, right? And also, every time they focus on the fundraising aspect of things, they're not focusing on the core organization. It's a lot more difficult to do both things at the same time. So I've been really thinking about this topic for a while now, and having conversations with social entrepreneurs and learning more about that pain point of the lack of sustainable funding. And the cool thing is, I should say, the positive in this scenario is that there are a lot of tech companies that are starting to create solutions for that exact problem. One in particular that I'm very, very excited about, and I met them, or at least had a conversation with them numerous times, maybe last year or so. I actually had them on the podcast, which I'll link in the description below, but the company's called GroundsSwell. And to give you a little bit of context around what GroundsSwell does, we got to think about banks. So right now, in your wallet or in your purse, what do you have? Chances are you have a debit card and or a credit card. Every time you use a card, a percentage of that purchase, it's called an interchange fee, goes to a bank. So a certain percentage. Now think about how often you use your debit card. Now think about how many friends you have use their own debit cards. Now think about the city, the country, the world. Everyone's using cards. Everyone is using plastic to make purchases. And so banks are making a ton of money, trillions of dollars every year on interchange fees alone. Now, what if instead of that fee going to the bank, what if that fee went to your favorite nonprofit? That's exactly what GroundsSwell is building and why I'm so pumped about what they're building from a technology standpoint. That's huge. Now, when it comes to creating a sustainable source of income for charities, for nonprofits, that's exactly the type of innovation that's needed in this space. And so now, if nonprofits have that sustainable source of income, something that they can count on a pretty regular basis, now the founder doesn't need to focus so much of their time and effort on searching for grants and applying for grants. Now they can focus the majority of their time and energy on building the organization, creating that strong foundation and building up from there. So that's why a company like GroundsSwell is super exciting. Now, I recommend you check out the podcast episode between myself as well as the two co-founders of GroundsSwell. The story around how the company got built and what they're really trying to solve is really interesting. Can't recommend that episode enough. If you're interested in actually learning more about GroundsSwell, groundswellworld.com is the website. Just check it out. The technology is remarkable, and I'm excited because it gives nonprofits a fighting chance.